Hello everybody, welcome back. For today's video, it's gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna do a baby video today. Now that I have a 3-month-old, I feel like I have a really good grasp and a really good idea of the things you need for a newborn. So I'm gonna be sharing my newborn essentials. Some of these are essentials, like you literally need these, like you need them, okay? But some of them are also like just things that we purchased after the fact that we had the baby that I even thought was like, oh, we're not gonna need that, I'm not gonna spend the money on it, and then ended up getting it after we brought him home from the hospital, because if you watch my Amazon video, you know I'm like a lady of convenience. I don't like to be inconvenienced. I am one of those people, it's sad to say, but I will spend the extra money on things if it's just more convenient for me and my life. And as a new mom, you need things to be convenient, especially as a first-time mom, because you have no idea what you're doing. Like, you don't know what you're doing. Okay, I thought, oh, I'm gonna know what I'm doing because I'm the oldest of 5. I've been around babies my whole life, and I'm like, it's just gonna come to me. I was made for this. No, I wasn't. When it comes to having your own baby, it's totally different. Okay, the first thing that I have on this list is a baby lounger, and I got the Snuggle Me because I just like the way that it looked. I thought it was like really cute. It looked very comfortable and cozy. He was like a contact sleeper. He wanted us next to him at all times. So we would put him in the bassinet, he'd sleep, but then he'd wake up and eat, and it was really hard to get him to go back to sleep at night and after a feeding, and it was just, the struggle was very real. So I love the Snuggle Me because I could literally just take him from place to place. If I was doing laundry or something, or I just like wanted to put him down because I was tired of holding him, I would just put him in the Snuggle Me right next to me, and it like lays perfectly flat. It has a little dip in the middle, and then it has raised edges around the side. So they're kind of just like stuck in place. Now they can't move anyways at that age, they're too young. I just took comfort in knowing that he was just kind of like snug and stationary in that place. Like, he wasn't going anywhere. His body was just like completely flat in it, and then he has the raised edges. So like, say, I know some people lay their babies down on their bed for a nap or whatever. If we ever did that, I wouldn't put him on the mattress. I would put him in the Snuggle Me, and of course I'd keep an eye on him, like either in person, or I'd always have the monitor on him just to make sure. But I would put him in the Snuggle Me because for some reason he didn't like his bassinet. He didn't start liking his bassinet until like a couple, I'd say probably like a month of life. We even had a swing. We tried like everything. He didn't like the bassinet. He didn't like the swing. I don't know if it's because it was like secure and like he just felt safe in it, you know, like comforted. He still uses it to this day. Like, he's taking a nap. I'm watching him now. He's taking a nap in the Snuggle Me, and his big old legs are hanging out of it. He's a little too big for it now, but I know like all babies are going to be different. But for me, I felt like it was a necessity in the sense that if I wanted to keep an eye on him, like take him out into the living room, I could put him in the Snuggle Me instead of just like laying him flat on the couch, because I'd be worried that he was going to move. When it comes to like holding him and keeping him in like a space where he can sleep besides us holding him in his arms, it was the Snuggle Me. He would even fall asleep in the Snuggle Me, and then we would have to like slowly transfer him to his bassinet. So that is like my biggest thing that I love the most. I will say, don't waste your money on the cover. The Snuggle Me is pricey. It's around $100. And the cover is like $50. And I bought a cover because in the reviews I read, if the baby, you know, they have an explosion in their diaper, they pee on it, it protects the pillow. That cover is not thick enough to protect the pillow. Every time he would have an accident, throw up, anything, it went right through the cover. So I would honestly say don't even waste the cover, because I was watching the cover and the pillow. Don't buy the cover. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a pacifier in here. I know they're not like a total necessity, but if you can get your baby to take a pacifier, they are honestly such a godsend. Jude wouldn't take one in the beginning because, again, he had tongue tie and he had issues like suckling. So he wouldn't take a pacifier for maybe like the first 2 weeks. And then after he gained a little bit of strength in his tongue, he takes it and he loves it now. I know people are kind of leery about pacifiers. I don't have any issues with them. It seems like he takes it just when he wants it. So he's not reliant on it. We only give him a pacifier if he's fussy and we know he doesn't need to eat, he doesn't need to be changed, he's just kind of fussy. We'll give him the pacifier and it just is like soothing to him, but he's not reliant on it. So I want to say go ahead and try it, because I remember hearing things like, oh, don't give your baby the pacifier, they're going to rely on it too much, it's going to be hard to take it away. I remember thinking like, I don't know if I want to do the pacifier, is it a good idea, is it a bad idea? Like, I was kind of conflicted about it, and I'm glad we tried it, because honestly, sometimes you just need that relief. When it comes to pacifiers, I'm gonna mention a particular one. I don't know the name of it. I'll go ahead and insert a picture of it right here, or the brand or something. But my friend actually got this for me, and she recommended it because she said it's supposed to emulate like a breast nipple. If you are breastfeeding and you're trying to get your baby to take a pacifier, it's supposed to be like the breast, like they're, you know, sucking on your breast nipple. It's like really weird to say that because it's not sexual at all, but it's just like, I don't know, it's so weird. Like, breasts are so sexualized. For babies, it's like their food source. It's just like, becoming a mom has just opened my eyes to so many things. I am no longer breastfeeding. That's a story for a different video. And he still loves this pacifier the most. I would say try maybe like 1 or 2 different kinds, because some babies don't like certain nipples on the pacifier, you know? It's the same with bottles. Like, they might not take this one, but they might take this one. Even though I'm not breastfeeding anymore, it seems like he does tend to go for those types of nipples that like emulate the breast. I don't know if it's like instinct or whatever, I have no idea. I wouldn't go and spend a ton of money on a bunch of different pacifiers because you don't know what they're gonna take. I would say start with one, see if they like that, and if they don't, go ahead and try something different. But this one in particular, it just seems to be his favorite. He doesn't spit this one out. I noticed with him, like the rounded ones, he'll take them, but he has a tendency to spit them out. So this particular one, I think he likes the most, and I think it is because it's like the shape of the breast. The next thing I have is Swaddles. Now, there are like conflicting things about Swaddles, and we always swaddled him with his arms down. I just recently started swaddling him with his arms out. Infants do have like a reflex that they jerk a lot in their sleep, so when you swaddle them with their arms down, it helps them like stay asleep and not wake themselves up. I didn't know this in the beginning. The nurse at the hospital actually told us. We didn't swaddle him when he was taking a nap. We only did it when he was going to sleep at night. And I will say he woke himself up a lot during the day when he would nap, because he would just like jerk constantly. And he didn't like it in the beginning. Like, he would just kind of be like, and like moving around, and he'd be all like, I don't think he enjoyed it. But once he was asleep, he stayed asleep until it was time for him to eat. You definitely want to make sure you get some sort of swaddle, whether you're going to swaddle their arms in or out, because babies can't sleep with blankets, and swaddles can tend to get kind of pricey. I got a couple off my registry. I got the Halo, which it took him about 2 months for him to fit into that one. The smallest one was too big for him, so I ended up ordering some newborn ones, and they were from the brand Swaddle Me. You can get a 3-pack for like 30 bucks, 28, somewhere around there. And you can order them off Amazon. They have directions on the swaddle, but they're so easy to use, especially if you're like a newbie like us. We didn't know how to swaddle. I didn't know how to swaddle until like, it took me like a good 2 weeks to learn how to like master it. And yeah, they're just like super easy to use. Again, they're not super expensive. I know a lot of people like the Kite baby sleep sacks. I do have one of them, and it's too big for him right now, but like as a newborn, they're outgrowing things like this, and sleep sacks can get expensive. They can get up to like $50 for just one. I would say go cheap. Like, unless you got the money to blow, go cheap, because you are honestly like constantly buying. They're like growing so fast. You don't need to spend a lot of money for them to wear something for 2-3 weeks and then for them to just outgrow it. So I really like the Swaddle Me's. So that's my recommendation for like the sleeping situation. The next thing I have is you want a really good monitor and a camera, and I'll go ahead and link. Is that thunder? Do you guys hear that? Is it gonna rain? It hasn't rained here in like 3 months. The monitor that I have, I'll go ahead and link below. I love this monitor. It is amazing. And here, I have it right here, so I'll go ahead and show it to you guys. So I'm watching my baby right here. He's sleeping. But what I like about this is that you can zoom in and out. You can talk to it, which I haven't had to do that yet. I mean, he can't understand me. But you can talk through it. Like sometimes Matthew will have the monitor and I'll be in the room, and this is just like pure laziness. But if he wants to tell me something, he'll just like talk to me on this and I can hear it through the camera. It's really cool. The brightness goes up really, really bright, and then you can turn it down really low. So I do sleep with the monitor on my nightstand, even though the bassinet is next to me. Now that I've had him, I'm not a sound sleeper anymore, and I just wake up a lot and I want to make sure he's okay. So I just have it propped up on my nightstand, and I'll just kind of like wake up and I see he's fine, he's breathing, everything's okay, and I'm able to go back to sleep without having to like get up and get out of bed and walk over to the bassinet. But this is really cool because you can zoom in really close, and it might be hard to show you here on camera, but you can physically see their chest moving. This is like such a high-tech monitor. I really, really like it. Another thing I also like is that it has the temperature on the top. So like in the beginning, I was really worried about SIDS. Like that was my biggest fear. I thought he was gonna stop breathing in the middle of the night, or he was gonna get overheated, or I was just like, that was honestly my biggest fear when we first brought him home. So you wanna keep the temperature at like a cool temperature. Babies are not supposed to get too hot if you don't know that. We would like monitor the temperature and be like, oh shit, it's 78 degrees in here and we need to lower it. So yeah, that's one thing I like about it. The battery lasts a really long time, and the camera is like super, super tiny. Have it on a command strip, and it's like right over the bassinet. I think it's like a 180 camera, so it can like actually move around the whole entire room. It's also not connected to an app. I did not want one that was connected to an app, because I thought if we ever have a sitter, if my sister's watching him, if my mother-in-law, my grandma, anybody's watching him, they're gonna have to download the app, and I didn't want something like that. So I really like this monitor. It's really good. I mean, it's awesome. It has this little stand. I just carry this around and prop it up wherever I go, and it is just like, it has just made me feel at peace. I really like it a lot. It's a really clear picture too, so I love that about it. The next thing I have is a stroller fan, and this is a necessity because if you're going out in public, even if you're just taking walks around the block, if you have to go run errands, if you're going to the doctor's office, if you're going to the grocery store, you want to have a stroller fan because, like I said, babies are not supposed to be overheated. I live in Houston, Texas, and it is hot as balls all day, every day. We're in July and it's like 103, 104, and even though I'm home with him, like sometimes I have to go to the grocery store, sometimes I've gotta run and pick something up from somewhere. I just like to keep him like cool at all times. I wanna make sure that he's not getting overheated. They're very inexpensive. You can get them for like 15 bucks on Amazon, and it just gives me peace of mind knowing that if he does start to get a little sweaty, my baby's also very hot natured. It's a nice little high powered fan. I'll go ahead and link it. I'll link the one that I have below. It has 3 settings on it, and I use all 3 settings. Sometimes I feel like I don't need the highest one. Sometimes I feel like he just needs a little breeze, and again, it gives me peace of mind knowing that he's not getting overheated. Next thing you want to get is a baby tub, and I'm gonna go ahead and put up the one that I have on the screen. I'm so glad I ended up going with this one. I did like in-depth research on every single thing I put on my registry, every single thing that I bought myself. I didn't just go out and buy it willy-nilly. I am like a researcher, and I researched everything. So when I was looking for tubs, I was like, well, I don't know what we want to get. Do we want something that is closed? Do we want something where we can put water inside the actual tub? I like this one because the bottom part is mesh, so it doesn't get like mildewy or anything like that. We still give him baths in the sink, and it fits in the sink. It doesn't fit in the sink, but it fits over the sink perfectly, and it just, the water goes right through it. My son loves taking baths. He just like giggles and laughs the whole time. It is the most pure, sweetest thing that I could witness. He loves the water, but I really enjoy this tub. I didn't want anything like too heavy, or like, I didn't want him like sitting in water because he pees a lot when we give him a bath, and I didn't want him like sitting in the pee, you know, it just like grossed me out. So I really enjoy this one because it just has the holes, everything goes through, and again, it doesn't get mildewy, but most importantly, it's so lightweight. When you're carrying all this stuff from this place to the kitchen sink, and then the towels and the soap and all that, it just is like one less thing that I have to worry about like assembling, and I just really enjoy this tub, okay? The next thing I have is a stroller and a car seat, and obviously we know that this is a necessity, but I wanna tell you about the one that I have because I really, really, really like it. You kind of have to pick and choose like what is gonna make the most sense for like your budget and your lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. Are you gonna use this in the future with future kids? You know, like what is gonna make sense for you in your life? This particular stroller that we have is called the Graco, I think it's called the Element Modes Travel System. Really good piece of advice I got got from my friend was, when you're looking at a stroller, go in person and test them out. Like, nothing beats testing them out. You can read reviews all day long, but you need to actually test it. And that's what we did. We went and honestly, we tested like 20 different strollers. Bye Bye Baby is really great because they have them all on display. They can take them down for you if they're higher up, and you can just like walk around the whole store. The customer service is awesome. This one was my favorite. It is super, super lightweight. It's like really wiggly. It reminds me of the IKEA shopping carts where they just like glide all over the place. I honestly have probably like the muscles of a kitten. Like, I have no upper arm strength. So I knew already that I needed something that was going to be easy for me to carry, but also like after giving birth, I knew I was going to be really weak, and I did end up having a C-section, and I couldn't even lift the car seat like shortly after my C-section, but I knew that I wanted something that was like really, really convenient. Everything is just lightweight. Like, the car seat is lightweight, the stroller is lightweight, it's easy to open it and close it, and I love it so much. Strollers, you have to learn how to use them. It sounds crazy, but like, I had to practice doing the car seat and the stroller, and like, I had to like physically, before we had the baby, like practice taking it off the stroller, putting it in the car, taking it out of the car. Like, I didn't know how to do any of that. It was really easy for me to figure out how to use as a new mom. It's not frustrating, it's not obnoxious, really lightweight, but also I like that it comes with the bigger car seat. So when he transitions out of his infant seat, I already have something bigger for him to go into without having to buy an additional piece. The next thing I have is the Boppy, and the Boppy can be used many different ways. The way that I used it was for feeding. It sits honestly just perfectly on your waist, and it is the perfect pillow for feedings. It's so hard to feed a baby without any support underneath. The Boppy is perfect. It's perfect. It's great for moms, it's great for dads, it's great for breastfeeding, it's great for bottle feeding. And then now, again, like, he's a little older, I actually prop him in it if he wants to sit up, and he just like sits and he looks around and he's like, oh, this is what it's like to be up here. The next thing I have is the peanut. I believe the brand is called Keekaroo. I'll go ahead and insert a picture here. It's a baby changer. This one is amazing because it is made out of like a silicone material, and it has no fabric on it. I do not know why people buy changers with the cloth or the like sheet on top of it, because listen, if you have a baby, especially a little boy, they are going to pee all over you. I have been pooped on, I've been peed on so many times I can't even count. There has been so much pee on my wall because my changer is on my dresser, which is up against the wall, and it's like you just open up the diaper and he's like, oh, and it's, I have wiped my wall down so many times, I have to repaint it. That's how many times you're gonna get peed on when you have a new baby, okay? Boy, girl, it's like a free-for-all. They're just out there wildin'. It's just like another thing for me to wash. I didn't want to deal with it, so I love this one. It is so, so easy. You literally can just take a baby wipe, a Clorox wipe, and wipe it down. Explosion diaper, it's gonna get all over the changer. You just take a wipe and wipe it down. It just is so convenient. I don't know why people are buying changing tables with cloth sheets over them. It makes no sense to me. Like, do you want to be doing more laundry than you have to? Because I don't. The next thing I have is a wipe warmer, and I definitely thought that this was like super, super gimmicky. I didn't put this on my registry. I was like, no, we're not getting a wipe warmer. We don't need it. The baby will get used to cold wipes. It'll be fine. My son hates being cold. When you take his clothes off to change him, as soon as you unzip the pajamas, he's like, like when he feels the cold air hit him, he hates it. He's such a high maintenance baby. It's really funny because I'm like, you're just like your mama. Like, you're just like me. I would just dread changing him because he would scream his head off. As soon as the wipe would touch him, he would scream like bloody murder. You would think that we were like literally murdering him. He would scream like to the point that he was like losing his voice. There was no sound coming out, and I was like, oh my god, is it really that dramatic? Like, it's just a wipe. So Matthew was like, I'm buying a wipe warmer. I don't want to hear him screaming. I don't want him to be traumatized every time we change his diaper. He's gonna be upset and he's gonna associate that memory. And I was like, he's gonna get used to it. Like, we don't need it, because the thing I had heard about wipe warmers was that it dries the wipes out, and I was like, no. We ended up finding one on Amazon. I'll go ahead and insert a picture of it here, that it is like a godsend. And I researched so many wipe warmers. I combed through reviews because they're not the cheapest. They're like 40 or 50 bucks. And we found one that it just heats the very top layer of the wipes. Maybe like the first 30 or 40 wipes or so that you're gonna go through just in like the first couple days. So it doesn't dry anything out. We've had it for the whole time he's been born almost. We've had no issues with it. It does not dry out your wipes at all, and it doesn't keep them like super hot. It just warms them enough to where now we can change him, where like when we actually put him down on the changing table, he'll start giggling. It's worth it for me in that sense that I want my baby to be comfortable. I don't want him to hate getting his diaper changed, because he's gonna get his diaper changed for like the next, you know, who knows how long. Another thing that I have that I thought was kind of gimmicky is a diaper pail. And I thought, we don't need a whole ass diaper pail. Like, we don't need a separate diaper trash can. We could just throw it in the trash. Now, we ended up getting one on our registry, and I'm so glad we did, because now that he's actually here and we have thrown poopy diapers in like the regular trash can, oh my God, don't do it. Get a diaper pail, okay? Spend the money on it. You don't have to get a super expensive one. I wouldn't even necessarily say you have to get like a diaper pail, but you could even probably just get a trash can that like holds in scent, you know, like one of those that is like odor blocking. But I would recommend you go ahead and get the diaper pail. I have the Munchkin one, and it is literally a godsend. Like, it actually closes when you close it, so it keeps the scent inside, and it has a little Arm & Hammer scent thing that like keeps it smelling fresh. It's really easy to change out the bags. Surprisingly, you don't go through as many bags as you thought. I think it holds like, I want to say it holds so many diapers. We don't change the bags out. We probably change it like once a week, if that. So like, we take out our kitchen trash more than we take out our diaper pail trash. I highly recommend you add it to your registry or think about it, because you don't want your room smelling like shit. So the last thing I have is a thermometer, and I would recommend you get a no-touch thermometer. I'll go ahead and insert a clip of mine here. I got it off of Amazon. I want to say it was like 20 bucks. We do have like the regular thermometer, but the no-touch one is just so much easier. I'm a new mom. I'm paranoid. Anytime he feels a little bit warm, I'm like, oh my God, is he getting sick? We're still living in a world of COVID. I actually got COVID very shortly. I think I was like 5 weeks postpartum when I ended up getting COVID. I have no idea how I got it. It's like a giant mystery to this day. He didn't get it, thank God, but we were like so paranoid. That was like my biggest fear. I was like, I don't want my new baby getting COVID. And I was very like adamant about his first couple weeks of life till he got his 2-month vaccines. I was like, look, I really want people wearing masks around him. Only immediate family was allowed over, and honestly, I don't care. Like, that's my child. I will do anything at all costs to protect him, especially because he didn't have an immune system. I think I actually might have picked it up at the pediatrician, because we took him to a doctor's appointment, and then I started getting symptoms like the next day or like the day after. I don't know. Maybe I didn't get it from there. I don't know where I got it from, because we weren't going anywhere. Like, we had just had a baby, so we weren't doing anything. I'm really paranoid. I don't want my baby to get sick. I know it's gonna happen eventually. It's inevitable. They're gonna get sick, but especially with temperature, their temperatures can't get too high. If he was really warm, or especially when I was testing positive for that like 10 days or so, we were constantly, well, I wasn't, Matthew was constantly taking his temperature just to make sure that, you know, he didn't have a fever. It's just such a struggle to have like this wiggly movie baby and try to keep the thermometer under the armpit, and then you gotta hold it down the whole time they're screaming. A no-touch thermometer is the way to go. Just trust me, okay? It's so much more convenient. It's just so much easier on your life, and you will thank me later. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's different than my usual content, but I wanted to film this because I thought, like, I watched so many of these videos, and I did pick up a couple of things, but there were also several things that I did end up buying that weren't mentioned in the videos that I watched. So I hope this helps somebody out there. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. God, I'm tired. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay. Don't forget to subscribe before you go. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!